Okay? Oh, I don't think you want to don't use words with me right now.
Can I get a pen or a pencil?
Yeah.
What do you think I was going to ask?
I don't know.
Yep.
Exactly.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So I am not going to use my little loud voice thing because you have ears and you can hear. And plus, to be honest, I want to talk loud because I'm kind of mad. At second period, normally my favorite class period, I'm mad at one specific group. They know who they are. They know what they did. They know why I'm mad at them. They are ridiculous. Lord Jesus bless them. They need to get together as quickly as possible because let me remind you, not only is it the end of the 9 weeks, but the end of the 9 weeks comes sooner for you than it does for other people because my last day is Wednesday, pending this thing does not arrive earlier, which I really wish she would. So my last day is Wednesday, so you can't turn Jack in after Wednesday because there ain't going to be somebody who can grade it. Why would that be my long-term subs job? They don't know what we've been doing. Not their problem to find some key from 6 weeks ago because you didn't know. I've already emailed the appropriate mamas that I need to and tried to talk to them. I had one hang up on me yesterday, but we can discuss that in a moment. Straight up, as soon as I told who I was, click went the phone. I wonder why. Moving on with my life. I know, right? It wasn't, the mom didn't answer. I knew who answered. I'm not stupid. Oh well. Moving on with my life. Let's make sure we're on the same page as to what you have left to do and how you can fix the things. There are 3 things left. And only 3 things. There is the checkpoint from Friday. So yes, I would gladly take your checkpoint from Friday. It is a 30% grade. And it's worth 10 points. No, I haven't typed in a score or a 0 for that yet. The second grade, which is today's thing, which you did know about, you just chose to ignore my words, which is on you, sorry. There's a math workshop test. It's mostly factoring. You cannot have your notes. You cannot have a friend's brain. And bless it if you use a friend's brain. I wouldn't. I notice when people make the same, let's not even go there. It was bad. Whew. It's a 60% grade. It's worth 100 points. So let's say you did have a D and life was going good for you with that magical D. You could really blow it up this week because you've got 2 60% grades. There's the math workshop test. And then, of course, there is a 6.5-6.6 test on Wednesday. And it is also a 60% grade. And it is 100 points. These are the final 3 things we will be entering this third 9 weeks. Now, am I going to suggest some problems you should work before you take that 6.5-6.6 test? Yes. Am I going to actually grade them because I'm in a time crunch? No. Is Anne-Marie going to do well on the 6.5-6.6 test if she doesn't practice? No. I mean, she knows that. I think that's all my words about that. I'm tired of getting on people. Didn't last long. You didn't die. Okay, we do have a little bit of notes to do before you get to work on that math workshop test. That math workshop test needs to be completed today. Those people who love to like put their name on things and then, hey, can I come in? Like, the time is now. You gotta do it today. It's gotta happen. Go ahead and take out a number strip. Are you ready to roll? Last week we were doing operations with radicals. So can you add, subtract, multiply, divide? Today we're going to take it one step further. And actually I think this section is even easier. So I would be more worried about 6.5, which is why we did 2 checkpoints in 6.5, than I would about 6.6. 6.6 is actually pretty easy as long as you pay attention. Okay, so I actually alluded to this last week. Square root of 47 is the same thing as 47 raised to the 1/2 power. They mean the exact same thing. They are equivalent statements. Now this is called a radical expression, and this is called an exponential one. So radical form, exponential form makes sense. Radical has the radical symbol, the house symbol. Exponential has an exponent. And the reason it is the way it is because there's an understood to there. What is this understood to? What's this spot called? It had a name. And I heard it first from 5, and so she can have a point. Okay, and then looking at this fraction, where did the 2 go? And you can have a point. Notice that the index and the denominator correlate. So I'm going to go back to number 1. It is actually in exponential form, and we're going to rewrite it into radical form. I'm going to put the radical symbol in the 11, but the number I'm going to put for the index is 7. Because again, the index and the denominator, they need to match. So the denominator goes where the index goes. Okay, so you can get your group a point if you can help me rewrite number 15. And Ellie's group has another point. Again, the index and the denominator correlate. Okay, well, let's do number 5. We're given it in radical form. We need to go to exponential form. So it's 3a to the 5th b squared, but what power is it raised to? And Angel's group gets a point, 1/3. And I'm still circling it because I still mean it. The index and the denominator need to match. They correlate. Okay, and we have 2 left. Let's do number 6 first. So 162 p to the 5th raised to the what power? And every group can have a point. It is raised to the 1/4. Still, this index and the denominator, they must match. Why did I say number 3 till the end? Okay, and so every group can have another point. The 3 in the fraction is going to throw us off. I'm still going to put the radical symbol. I'm still going to put the 300. What number should I put for the index? The 3 or the 2? The 2, because again, the denominator and the index must match. But I do have to deal with that 3. I can't just ignore him or pretend he's not there. So we can either put him inside the house under the radical, so raise everybody under the radical to the 3rd, or we can raise the entire thing to the 3rd power. These two are equivalent. So I could raise just 300 to the 3rd and then take the square root. Or I can take the square root of 300 and then raise that number to the 3rd. No matter what I do, this way, or this way, I'm going to end up getting the same answers every single time. Okay, well, this was fun. And clearly this seems like something we need to practice. So my suggestion is to work 10 through 17. Let's look at those below now. Now, I'm not going to check to see if Ellie's worked them, but I'm going to tell Ellie the answers tomorrow. So if she's wanting to do well in this next test, she ought to practice them first. This exponent is a 1/5. This one's a 2/7. This one is a 3/4. And this one is x to the 3rd raised to the 3/2. And if Ellie was really on it, she would also do 18 through 21. But we'll talk more about that tomorrow. But we are going to go ahead and practice them now. Let's look at 7, 8, 9 above. I really like problems that say evaluate because that means I get to use my calculator. goodness. So let's go to 789. Okay, so evaluate means I get to use my calculator because I want an exact number. So if you have your calculator, now we could rewrite this first. We could say cube root of negative 27 all raised to that second power. Because, again, the index and the denominator match. If I wanted to find the cube root button on my calculator, what would I press? And you would get a point for your group. If you go to math and find the cube root button, then we could type in negative 27. I'm going to go ahead and press enter. And then apparently we're supposed to raise that number to the second power. And we would get 9. Heck, if Angel really wanted to, she could do the whole step at once. As long as she used a lot of parentheses. Heck, she could do it the other way as well. I mean, there's multiple ways she could type this in. Oh, and I've typed it in wrong that time. Any ideas as to what I've done wrong that very last time? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm wrong. You've got to put parentheses around negative 27. I heard Paige say it, and I think 1 said it as well. So 1 and 2 get a point. So I should have done. And then we would still get positive 9. But you know what stinks? Is that we've learned how to type this in, and that's great. It's way easier to type it in an exponential form. It's way easier to say negative 27 raised to the, if you press the little caret symbol, raised to the, and then I could use the fraction button. Remind me of how to get to the fraction button. No. No. How do I get to the fraction button? Oh, we could do math frac, yeah, but there was another way as well. And Angel can have a point for actually having the explanation with the math. I appreciate that. We talked about it. It involves the green button. Yes, Sarah gets a point for her group. Alpha y equals. And so I could tell it 2/3. But if we're being complete, notice we're getting 9 every single time because the answer is 9. But I'm kind of lazy, so I don't tend to press the fraction button at all. I tend to just put my fraction in parentheses. To me, that's easier and faster. Regardless, I get the answer of 9. Notice that Ms. Compton typed it in like 5,000 different ways. I would type it in at least 2 ways and make sure I'm getting the same number both times. Because, yeah, there are problems like this on the test. Yes, Justice should get a perfect score on those. But since all he's doing is typing stuff in his calculator, if he makes a calculator typo, suddenly he's missed all his points. So type it in multiple ways, make sure you're getting the same answer. Okay, if you can beat me to the answer to number 8, you can have a point. I believe he gets to have a point. Let's see. He is correct. It is 6. Same with number 9. If you can beat me, you can have a point. And he gets another point for his group. But again, now that we understand how to go from exponential to radical and vice versa, I could have rewritten number 9. Something to the 1/2 is the same thing as the square root of. Because this and this, the denominator and the index match. So I literally could have done second square root 0.0004 and gotten the same answer as well. Because those are equivalent statements. I told you 6/6 is going to be easy. Are there any questions about this? Okay, well then you don't need anything except your pencil and maybe your calculator. Go ahead and clear off your desk. Jack's going to get these for me.